Joining us now is Viv Govender from Rand Swiss Offshore with his take on today's market performance. Viv, thank you so much for your time this evening. As I went through the markets picture, there really is a day of trade in the red, risk firmly off the table, with equities across the globe plummeting on escalating tensions playing out in the Middle East. Trump further saying that, that conflict could go on for weeks. How concerned are you, especially when it comes to the oil prices? Last time I checked, it was edging closer to that $80 mark, and some analysts are predicting that it could hit $100 a barrel.
Yes, I mean, I think that might even be conservative. Should we have this escalate, and what you need to look at is a particular island called Karg Island. It is basically where Iran's major energy infrastructure is located. 90% I think of the oil production and stuff goes to that. Should that be attacked? Basically, that would indicate a significant escalation, and it might just mean that the Iranians would have no hold barred in terms of the responses, because effectively at that point in time their economy is destroyed, and they would effectively be almost on at the last straw. Until we see that kind of stuff happen, I think we could be reasonably confident that neither party is willing to go all the way out in terms of attacking, and I think we may just see some resolution in the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
It's been interesting to see how the JSE has fared amidst it all. Trade has been volatile, as mentioned. Precious metals counters as well as Cecil started the day firmly in the green, but we did see some of those gains tapering off towards the end of the trading session. Talk to me about that response to it all. Are we not seeing the higher gold price doing enough to offset that risk-off mood in markets?
Yeah, look, with Cecil, I think obviously everyone says oil prices go up, Rand gets a bit weaker, Cecil should be what you're looking at. But Cecil also has a hedge in place, so how much of this upside can it actually take? That's one question to be asked. On the other side, I mean, we are seeing, for instance, the gold stocks looking reasonably strong. Still, DRD, AngloGold, all among the winners of the day. I do think, regarding what's happening here, it all depends on how long it lasts. If it lasts, for a long period of time, goes past 1 or 2 weeks, we could be seeing, a totally different scenario. But if that's all it happens, I think we should see most things returning to normal by the end of it, and that could, I think, mean that there's some bargains out there at the moment.
All right, let's get into some company news, kicking things off with the JSE. The company reporting record results on stronger equity markets. Just your take on those numbers, record results, as I mentioned, with profits crossing that billion rand mark.
Yeah, look, I mean, last year, I think the JSE was the third best performing market in the world in dollar terms. Which is obviously, quite a nice performance after being a laggard for quite some time. If you have our markets go up as strongly as they did, that's going to result in more trades, will result in when the trade does occur in bigger fees for the JSE, and I think that's what's basically feeding into this. Is that sustainable? I'm not so sure. I don't know if we can expect a move like that for the next year or two.
I mean, we know that, of course, the commodity space is very cyclical. Quickly, before I let you go, let's get your thoughts around RCL Foods posting a 30% decline in headline earnings per share from continuing operations. The sugar unit continues to really be a pressure point for the company.
Yeah, look, I mean, when it comes to these, these food producers here, they had been, until very recently, considered to be very, stable. The consumer staples. We have to not going to, stop eating irrespective of what happens. I do think that with regards to what's been happening to this the food industry over the last little while, it's been a lot more volatile. Obviously, this doesn't affect it here with regards to the the sugar industry, but I do think that especially what's happening with the climate does affect what's been happening with regards to the pricing. They also mentioned the fact that they're having inadequate tariff protection. World market prices also are coming down a little bit, and that's obviously affecting things. And look, I mean, I think also people are noticing, globally that the sugar demand is falling because of things like Ozempic and Jal and those kind of things. Yeah, it's having an impact on. I mean, ice cream makers, for instance, are coming down. Alcohol sellers are coming down as well. So this is really changing dietary habits.
Yeah, and I think when I looked at Coca-Cola's results, they were even saying that their sugar-free products are what is doing better. All right, let's move over to your stock pick. Where are you seeing value at the moment?
think IBM, one of the big fallers in the last few weeks. What happened was Anthropic came out with a new program that could work with COBOL, and for those that don't know, it's from the older programming languages that IBM really specialized in. It's basically what a lot of the old infrastructure, in terms of the financial system, the actual physical infrastructure of the world runs on, and with this new Anthropic model, it was shown that they could do COBOL programming. But I think that if you're looking at people's trust in these particular systems, do you really want to basically have an AI system that you don't trust operating your banking system or operating your electricity infrastructure or your plant at your factory? I think much to the fault we saw that IBM was overdone, and also should we see this escalation happen in the Middle East? I think probably the best U.S. Vertically integrated IT company, IT hardware company, would likely benefit from that, disruption in global trade.
All right, let's leave it there. Viv, thank you so much for your time and taking us through trade this evening. That was Viv Govender from Rand Swiss Offshore.